Hey, welcome to week 2 of Road to Valencia. I'm Owain, as always, with Dan. We're going to be talking about 7 weeks to go to Valencia Marathon, so week commencing 7th of October. As always, going through some of Dan's training and some of the sort of physiology and science behind it. How you doing, Dan?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Right.
All right. We'll come to it over the next whilst we talk through this week, but all right is how I would describe how I'm doing.
Bit of foreboding for how this episode's going to go, maybe.
Yeah. So should we crack into it? Should we go right?
Yeah, 7th of October. So day after Cardiff Half, which we discussed last week.
Yeah.
So Monday morning.
Yeah, Monday morning. Actually, thinking I'm going to be pretty sore here, pretty tired. Felt pretty good. Got out in the morning. I did 16k, 10 miles, 4:40 in a k, which I think is about 6:50 a mile pace. And actually, body feeling pretty good. I was like, this is great. My wife Jemima did the half too. She did 90 minutes. She was delighted with that. She couldn't walk the next day, so I was doing better than that.
I couldn't walk the next day, but I'd done a fell race on the Saturday as well, so we're going to put it down to that. But good that you pulled up. Pulled up all right.
Actually, good start. Trying to taper my enthusiasm. I was ready to double, but I thought, you know what? No, let's. I purposely want to recover from Cardiff Half, get back to training, put in a nice block. So taper.
You've done the day before. You've done 65 minutes at just under your turn point. A bit just over at the end as well when you're sort of really foot on the throttle. So it is. I think people sometimes minimise how big impact a race is. Your body doesn't understand it's a race or training. It's just a metabolic cost. So racing, isn't it? So you do have to respect that, I think. Yeah,
100%. And I think I haven't. It was a big PB for me at the half, and one of the reasons is because I hadn't run a half properly in 4 years, and that's because it's actually most of the time I'm building towards a marathon, and I think racing a half in a build up is tricky in that. I've been in great shape to run a half marathon PB in my build up to my marathons, but it's the cost versus the benefit of doing it. You've got to have a few days easy into the race, do the race, and when you never know how your body's going to respond afterwards, you're definitely going to have to spend a few days of doing some easy running. And so most of the time I'm panic training, trying to actually get in that final block, and doing a half just doesn't seem like a sensible decision. So which was nice to be able to do Cardiff Half this year, because it was, race that. I'd already got myself really fit, race Cardiff Half, right, I've got 8 weeks to go to actually still focus on Valencia. So in my head, 6 weeks of good training, 2 week taper, minus a few days to recover from Cardiff Half. But the fact that I felt pretty good the next day, it was a good sign. So October 8th.
Tuesday
morning, 10 miles on my treadmill. I've put it on my Strava here. Finally watched that video that she did recapping Berlin, which was good fun, kept me entertained for my hour and 10 minutes it took me. Nothing to report, feeling a bit better again, nice and easy. I think about 7 minute mile pace, something like that for 10 miles, 4:20 a k. That's all I did that day. So Tuesday just 16k 10 miles again. I think again trying to be sensible, not get back to anything crazy too soon. Brings us on to Wednesday, another 16k run, 10 mile run, similar pace, 7 minute mile pace, 4:20 a k, at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then in the late afternoon got out for a double, so just did 30 minutes on the treadmill, again similar pace, 4:17 a k, just under 7 minute mile pace. 7k, just 30 minutes, but that was like a sort of a warm up for getting into the gym, which I was keen to get in this week because I hadn't done one the week prior between Berlin and Cardiff Half. It was just going to be too much recovery cost, and as I discussed in my last podcast, I was already pushing it a bit too much with doing Berlin, and then getting a lab test, and then running a half. So looking back now, actually that was a really big 8 days of training really, and wasn't probably optimal for Cardiff Half, but got away with it, and got that lovely lab data, and great fun pacing fairly around at Berlin, and a half marathon PB too. So got in the gym. Should we delve into the gym stuff a bit?
Yeah, let's briefly go over. But I think we'll do a full episode on strength and conditioning for the gym. I mean, I can even see like one of the sort of big names of the S&C and sort of physiology world, Rich Blagrove's in your comments on Strava.
Yeah, just name dropping him. Yeah, he's got, and we've got his book open here. Richard Blagrove, who never actually met, but we've had a cool conversations, I think, on social media. And he's a keen runner as well. But he's literally written the book on strength and conditioning for endurance runners.
I think we'll do a fuller hour episode at least on S&C. But if we briefly go over like, maybe what you did and the thinking behind it.
Yeah, and I guess for me, with my gym history is at one point I was regularly getting in the gym. There was a good group of us who were doing some stuff down at Sport Wales and I was getting in the gym twice a week. And then that sort of stopped and I didn't do anything for 5 years.
I was going to say, since I've known you, it's non-existent.
Well, for me...
the odd session and then loads of DOMs.
Yeah, my excuse is I don't have the time, which is a factor, but you can normally make time. The reality is I just don't like it. And my other excuse for not doing it is I don't tend to get injured. Like I've never really had a long-term injury, and so from an injury prevention strategy, I've not really needed it. So I've just got away with running. But with this, all-in mentality in brackets there.
Hashtag all in.
Hashtag all in. For getting ready for Valencia, it was like, right, let's really try and get in the gym a couple of times a week, at least once a week minimum, and work on some stuff there. And I guess what I'm trying to get out of it, Ben, is if it's not about injury prevention, for me, it's about trying to improve my economy, because that's one thing that the research is pretty clear on. If you want to improve your economy, then one way you could go about it, not the only way, but one way is doing some strength training, potentially some plyometric training too.
And I think with economy, like one way of improving it is to run more. So for someone that's running 80 to 100k a week, you'd probably actually say maybe run a bit more. Your economy will get better over time. But actually, you're now at a point where you're probably getting to the point of maximizing the running you can do around a full-time job and a young child. So that's where S&C, I guess, comes in as an option. Whereas, if you're running 80k a week, like running more probably gives you as much benefit. Potentially. I mean, I guess not done the research, but
and I think I said previously, my economy has just trended better over time. It was pretty awful my first test, and now actually I'd say it's getting towards. It's not like what I'd call world class, but it's certainly getting towards that. Yeah. But I'm hoping that gym is a new stimulus for me, and that it's going to just make a little bit of difference. And I guess the other thing with the gym is it's a 1%er for me. I don't think anyone's going to completely transform their running and reach a whole new level by going to the gym. But I think slowly over, maybe it will if you're always picking up injuries and you can get in the gym, and actually then that just allows you to train consistently. But it's not, the gym itself is not going to turn you into from a hobby jogger into international athlete. But actually, maybe it can make a 1 or 2% difference, which for me would be enough. If I can get 1 or 2% faster, then like fantastic. Yeah. In terms of actually how is the gym going to affect our economy, it's really about working on primarily the Achilles tendon. I'd say that's the key thing we're trying to improve the qualities of. So allow it to hold more elastic energy during your foot strike. So when you hit the ground, some of that energy is going to get stored in the Achilles, recycled, and then you can release that energy upon takeoff.
There's going to be a bit of a change in sort of force production as well. You can just generate more force, which is going to be beneficial for every step of the marathon. And then muscle fiber recruitment as well. Potentially, it's going to impact that, and then have some effect on economy. Things we can go into more in a we'll do a whole focused podcast on it. But I think for me it's very much after improving economy. I think if you're a middle distance athlete, then I think the gym is crucial, because you need to be able to run really, really fast. You need to be able to close really hard in tactical race, and for that, being able to produce high force outputs and just being able to sprint really fast is going to be important. For me, I guess I'm only really doing some
I'm only doing half an hour most of the time. Because of time, I'm trying to squeeze it in alongside a high volume of training and a busy life. But I'm also so naive to gym training that I don't have to do very much to have a bit of a benefit. And I've already seen improvements over just actually the last 4 weeks of one gym session a week is what I've managed so far. And I'm primarily, like we talked about the Achilles, my main focus want to get in. Even if I only had 10 minutes to go, I would be right, calf capacity, calf conditioning. So I'm doing calf raises, loaded as much as I can. Not too many reps, like under 10, but trying to get a lot of load through the tendon, which is like primarily the goal. And the other thing I'm doing is isometric calf isometric calf holds, would you call them?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So just 5 seconds.
Can you tell we're not S&C people?
Yeah, we're physiologists, not S&C, but yeah, trying to put even more force through the tendon. So holding a max isometric for 5 seconds on one foot, swapping over, having a bit of recovery, and doing like 3 sets of that. Plus just your generic like back squat, some glute bridges and stuff. But I think we'll go into S&C in a bit more detail without spending 20 minutes talking about it here. But yeah, trying to get in that a couple of times a week alongside the running, and I think it's the balance as well. It's not just the time, it's also the recovery cost as well. Like making sure that you can fit it in where you're not going to be too sore, too tired for your next training session.
Yeah, because that's a whole sort of discussion around S&C, isn't it? It's some people lift on the same day they do a session because they want to keep hard days hard, easy days easy, whereas other people do it on an easier day where you maybe have a bit more time and more
energy.
You can do a higher quality of the S&C work. So that's, I don't think there's an answer, to be honest. It's probably individualized and also how your own schedule works maybe as well.
I think a lot of it comes just down to the logistics. I mean, for me, I'm opting to try and do it the day after a hard session because I tend to go Tuesday hard, Wednesday, Thursday easy, Friday hard. So if I can get one in on a Wednesday, which is where I've had most success, and then actually maybe I can squeeze one in on a Saturday if I can get to a gym, or even I'll just do something at home. That's what I'm trying to go for. And I think for me, that's probably more optimal because I'm doing really big sessions. And so if I try to do that in the morning on a Tuesday and then somewhere at lunchtime fit in a gym session, I think the quality would just be really poor. So I think for me, that's the benefit. That's the best place to fit it in. But yeah, we'll go into a bit more detail about it and see.
Yeah, we'll do a full episode. Definitely.
I think there's so much to talk about there, even for us physiologists. So yeah, that was Thursday. So that was good actually, because I had a good volume of running. What was that? 40 minutes of running plus a gym session. Really happy with that. All right, Friday then. So Friday.
That's Thursday.
That's Thursday, is it?
So gym was Wednesday.
Gym was Wednesday. So Thursday. So another 10-mile run. 6 o'clock in the morning, 4:19 a K, 7-minute mile pace. Intention was to then double in the evening, get in another 10K. Got the call at lunchtime, Dan, your son's not very well, he's in nursery. I had this call from the nursery saying, he's not very well, can you come pick him up? So yeah, great, fantastic. Here we go. So
this is the foreboding we sort of mentioned. We've done 15 minutes of an episode and not mentioned a session, so I think people can tell where this is going now.
Yeah. So the tension was to double Thursday. Obviously, didn't manage to get that done because I had to pick Night from nursery early, and then tension Friday morning. Get back to doing a session. I was going to do something at marathon pace. Or some long intervals at marathon pace, or maybe slightly quicker. So I ran my half at like 4:58 a mile, which I think it works out as 3:05 a K. So I was thinking something just a little bit slower than that. And anyway, by Thursday evening, I'm also feeling pretty rough as well. I'm thinking, Friday's looking a bit unlikely, and woke up Friday feeling pretty rubbish. Woke up Saturday feeling pretty rubbish. Woke up Sunday feeling pretty rubbish. And I had 3 days off running, which was pretty annoying.
I mean, I saw you on Friday and you looked really rough.
Yeah.
And you went home, I think, a few.
I had a lab test to do first thing Friday morning, so I came in for that. And our intention was to stay all day, and I was like, no.
Yeah, you looked really rough.
I need to go home. I'm not feeling great here, and so yeah,
week sort of derailed. I think one of the things we'd said we'd talk about is, because I see it a lot. You see it a lot online. What was your thought process? I know, like, it's easy to just say, "Oh, I'm ill, I'm not running," but what was your thought process Friday morning about not running? Like, what was there anything where you're like, I'm not good to go, or I am good to go? Do you have any like criteria about?
Yeah, I think it's always a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Because obviously, I would always like to run. I mean, for me, the first sign is if I don't want to go and run, I'm probably pretty unwell.
Yeah.
And if it's just a cold, like you've got a runny nose, whatever, maybe you've got a bit of a headache, I'd be going out to run. But I was having like I was feeling really cold when I wasn't cold. I feel my skin temperature and I'm not cold, but I'm feeling freezing and I've got like 4 layers on, but I actually know that I'm sweating. So like that dysregulation of your,
I was going to say, temperature regulation
that's a big one for me. Right, if you're feeling like that, you shouldn't be running. I don't think.
I think at that point your body isn't able to manage your temperature or your perception of the temperature right. So then adding exercise into the mix is where there's thermal regulation.
There we go. And all of Saturday I was having like I'll fluctuating between feeling freezing cold and then actually feeling boiling hot. So having temperatures, having cold sweats, all this sort of thing. I think it was that one was sort of a reasonably easy decision. Like actually Saturday, I was thinking, Saturday, I took a load of paracetamol, feeling the afternoon, thinking, you know what, I'm feeling all right. And I had some work to do on Saturday as well, so I was back into the lab on Saturday. And actually doing that, I said, you know what, I feel all right. But I think I was just distracted, to be honest. And by the time I finished that, like, no, I'm knackered back home. No running.
It's amazing what like a bit of caffeine from a coffee and some paracetamol can do. You feel great and then it wears off.
So I was on all the paracetamol, ibuprofen, whatever, and I wasn't horrendous. Like it could well have been COVID. I don't know, because Saturday by Monday I actually felt all right again, and I got back to running on Monday, but we'll save that review for our next episode. But I definitely wasn't up to running. I think it was pretty clear cut. If I'm having temperatures, having cold sweats, that's not that's a pretty good indicator not to run. And sometimes for me, I'm always like, is it in my head? Was pretty obvious, but sometimes if I'm not quite so bad, am I actually unwell? Am I just overthinking this? Am I just tired? Like, whereas when you've got a 2.5-year-old who's also not very happy, not very well, then you go, right, it's not just me, there's a virus going around. And actually, so many people we know we were working with have been unwell.
Fresh as flu.
Yeah, fresh as flu. I think I'm doubly exposed because I work in a university campus, where there's lots of freshers going around mingling and drinking too much, not looking after themselves very well, and bringing viruses from all over the country, and then having a son in nursery as well is that's a good breeding grounds for germs as well.
It's one of those ones where you like sometimes hear about people like flying to a race and then they get ill off the plane and you're like, you maybe could have worn a mask, but I don't think there was any avoiding this.
No, I think it was. I guess one bonus is hopefully that's it now. I've had it now, and I'll be all right for the next 7 weeks. But you never know. There might be something else coming around. But I'm hoping, touch wood, that that's over and done with. Yeah. I guess I think one thing I wanted to talk about, which is those metrics you get from your watch. I've got my watch doesn't do heart rate variability. It's what have I got? A Garmin 245. Let's have a look here. Let me just take it off my wrist. Yeah, Garmin 245.
You say on your Strava, I think. So.
Yeah, Garmin 245. So does my resting heart rate, gives me a stress score, and everything I know about the stress score marker makes you think it should not be a very good. I shouldn't look at it. It shouldn't be a good marker. Like, it's going to be, if you really want to get good heart rate variability data, you need a chest strap or you need an ECG. Like, you shouldn't be it's just not sensitive enough. And that's like my scientific approach. However, I actually find it quite accurate. Like, if I'm having an easy day, my stress score, my Garmin will be a 19, it'll be a 20. Yeah. If I do a session, it'll be a 30. And over the weekend, it was in the 40s, doing absolutely no exercise. So that was another good marker, but maybe I wasn't very well. And again, I try not to pay too much attention to the watch, because there's a good example of it working really well. But I also know if I go in for a nice bath and I sit in a bath, not a really hot bath, just, normal temperature bath, 38 degrees or whatever, the stress all goes crazy. Yeah. And it thinks you're dying, but you're just actually a bit warm, and your blood flow is going a bit higher whilst you're not exercising, and that throws it off as well. So it's not perfect, but yeah, I mean, I would never see a 40 if I'm stress score when I'm well, and even if I've had even like the day after a marathon or something like that, or the day of a marathon, I wouldn't see that. But I hit a 48 on Saturday, which was a good marker that things aren't well. And like resting heart rate again was a similar trend. Like, normally I'm down in the like mid 30s, so 35, 36, 37 most recently. And my heart rate was up at 42, 43, which is not massively different, but it's enough to think, especially when you combine it with doing no training, but that's not great.
Yeah, just confirmatory sort of factors, isn't it? It's like, even when you're out on a run, we talk about, like golf heart rate and pace and RPE, and you can sort of apply the same like logic, I guess, to illness. You've got your RPE, which is like how you're, there's cold sweats and you're feeling really cooked here, and then your watch is also saying you're not feeling good. So it's sort of a couple of factors to
because I've worked with athletes before, and they said, my heart rate variability on my watch is really, really poor. My resting heart rate, it's a little bit up, and you go, but how are you feeling? I feel fantastic. I actually feel really, really fit, and I did a session last night. It was the best I've ever done, and got out for my easy run this morning, and it was fine. And you go, probably wouldn't worry about it then. You're probably it's probably just an artifact. Like, we have day-to-day variation with this measurement error. There's so many other variables. Like, if you feel all right, you're all right in my books. But I definitely did not feel all right. So for me, it was a reasonably easy decision processing. Like, don't run. And for me, it's been like, just take it on day-by-day basis. Like, Monday I woke up. Slept all right for the first time in a few days. Feeling all right. Okay, I'll try a run. Then I was just going to go out for 10k. Ended up doing 10 miles, so 16k. I'm pretty much normal. But again, we'll save that for next week, the next episode. But back to it now, and hopefully all the colds, all the viruses, all the bugs are done with.
Fingers crossed. But so a bit of a different episode already for the second episode. No sessions or long runs to dive into this week, but hopefully next episode we'll be back on track. I don't think we've got anything else for.
I was just gonna look up and see what miserable mileage I actually managed to get done that week. Let's have a look here. The other thing that's frustrating for me is that the other thing that was frustrating was that it's 3 days off running a hill. 3 days isn't very much, but I tapered into Cardiff Half, did the half, which that'd be a nice big stimulus. But then I'd taken 4 days of just easy running, missed out on that session. And so actually, it's now going to be like over a week before without doing any intensity at all. And that's just the load, the load that you're putting through the system is just getting down, and it's, missing 3 days is fine. But I'd have been much happier if I'd got the session done on Friday, and then actually Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I wasn't feeling very well. And then at least I'd have known, I've got one in, but now it's just become quite a long time without doing any quality, which is a bit frustrating for me. So what have we got here? 72k, which is 40 odd miles. 72k of running, which is not not really what I was after. At least I got the gym session in. That's the only positive to take away from a week. Got back in the gym, so I've maintained that consistency there after having a week off before between Berlin and Cardiff Half. But yeah, I guess for context, I did 119k the week of Cardiff Half. The week prior to that was so that was a bit of an easier week. The week prior to that was 180k, which was more of a sort of, what I'd like to be hitting at this time of year at least, and that included running Berlin Marathon and a reasonable session on the Tuesday as well. So yeah, 72k is not going to cut it for optimal preparations for Valencia, but all right, hopefully we can, hopefully I've got more positive news for next week. Already more positive news, but I'm feeling better, ready to go again.
We've got the curse out of the way early. Now, smooth sailing from here, fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's going to go dream now. Just how everything's going to go beautifully.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it for this week. If you have any questions, we'll chuck the Q&A link in the description if you have any questions about Dan's training or anything else. But yeah, I think we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I think just apologies that it took us a few days to get out, but back out again. Like I said, I was ill over the weekend, so couldn't really record it then, or you wouldn't have had much of a coherent response out of me. And then it was unfortunately, you're back ready, you're back well now, Dan. Get back to work, and it's been just a really busy week. But we've got this one out. Hopefully, the next one we get out a bit sooner. Keep those updates nice and live and current. But thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.
See you soon. Cheers.